truth almost no man understands. For women, it's everything. Seems over the top, right? But think about it. How many times have you watched a man who seemingly has every advantage, yet he's completely unable to forge real, powerful bonds with women? This has nothing to do with how he looks, what he earns, or his self-esteem. The fact is, a vast majority of guys are totally blind to specific, minor actions that can make them captivating. And today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on 7 secrets that women deeply desire, but almost never talk about. This isn't the generic dating advice you've heard 1,000 times. These are quiet psychological keys, rooted in both modern science and timeless Stoic principles that can completely alter how women see you. You'll become unforgettable without even seeming to try. Just picture it. What if you could speak to the unspoken needs that most women don't even know they possess? What if you could distinguish yourself from 99% of other men without effort? Not by running after her, not by trying to prove your worth, but by deeply getting what makes a woman feel truly noticed, wanted, and spiritually connected. And look, if you're unaware of these secrets, you're operating at a huge deficit. You are likely missing the very chance to create the kind of magnetic pull that makes her think of you long after you've said goodbye. This is exactly why you have to watch until the very end. The last secret is the most impactful of all, and as soon as you get it, your entire perspective on attraction will be forever changed. Before we jump in, do something for me. If you're truly ready to internalize these perspective-shifting methods, click the like button, subscribe, and activate your notifications. You won't want to miss the transformational knowledge heading your way. Let's begin. Secret 1: the significance of touch outside of sex. Imagine this scene. You're out on a date. The conversation is easy. She's smiling, and things feel like they're on the right track, but there's a missing piece. You feel that the rapport isn't quite solid. She is present, but not entirely captivated. You take her home, shoot her a message later, and get nothing but air. No reply. What went wrong? The majority of men put all their energy into words to create attraction. They believe a solid chat is all it takes. But for a woman, connection is never just about dialogue. It's also visceral and emotional. And there's an immensely powerful, yet often ignored, way to build that bridge: physical contact. Not in a demanding, forceful manner, not in a style that makes her guarded, but in a delicate, deliberate, and profoundly resonant way. One of the most powerful yet forgotten gestures women yearn for is a simple, tender massage completely separate from sex. Sounds basic, doesn't it? But this is the source of its power. For most women, an emotional link is equally, if not more, vital than physical appeal. A well-timed, non-sexual touch can communicate far more than language ever will. It conveys, "I notice you. Your comfort matters to me. I want you to feel secure and at ease in my presence." This is not about being a massage pro or aiming to show off. It's all about being present, existing in that shared moment, and making her feel seen, understood, and wanted on an emotional level, not just a physical one. The secret: the touch itself is secondary. What truly matters is the feeling behind your action. If your mind is elsewhere, it will have no effect. But when you are fully there, tuned in, and genuinely observing her reactions, she will absolutely notice. The great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once noted, "Don't waste time debating what a good man is. Be one. Stop over-analyzing. Don't let it become strange. Simply exist in the moment and allow your deeds to do the talking." Here's the blunt reality. Almost no man invests the effort to grasp this principle. That's the reason they stay in the 99% that fails at deep emotional connection. But those men who get it, they forge powerful, enduring bonds that women find unforgettable. In an age where most men chase immediate pleasure and shallow talk, this kind of intentional act is incredibly scarce. But when you get it right, you join the 1%, the men who genuinely get what women crave on a soul level. Secret 2: flirting with composure and dignity. The average man botches flirting entirely. He'll either push way too hard, seeming needy and anxious, or he'll retreat completely, worried about messing up. The reality is that women enjoy flirting, but only when it is delivered with poised subtlety and deep respect. A man who can flirt with ease is immediately noticeable because he generates a charge that is thrilling but carries no weight. Flirting has nothing to do with dazzling her with canned jokes or over-the-top praise. The goal is to keep the dynamic fun, buoyant, and mutual. See it as a game of energy. You make a move, she responds, but at no point does either person feel pressured. The ideal method is to use playful, good-natured teasing. For instance, if she tells you she adores a particular restaurant, you might smile and say, "Is that so? That's the best you can name. I can tell you've never tried my cooking." It's a low-stakes dare that makes the talk more dynamic and sets up a fun little rivalry. Crucially, successful flirting is not about fishing for compliments. The second you work too hard for her approval, you give away your power. Women are irresistibly pulled toward men who are at home in their own being, who can be playful without seeking external validation. This is where the stoic mindset becomes your ally. A man of high value doesn't flirt to capture a woman. He does it because the shared energy is enjoyable. He stays emotionally centered, never desperate for her to reciprocate. Outside of language, your eyes and posture do the heavy lifting. A steady gaze, a slight smirk, a slow head nod, or a perfectly placed beat of silence communicates more than any pickup artist's script. Attraction is not made with words alone. It's constructed with presence, vibe, and self-assurance. When you flirt from the correct frame of mind, women perceive it immediately. So ask yourself, are you flirting to gain her favor, or are you flirting because you genuinely value the shared moment? Master that distinction, and you will notice attraction shift decidedly your way. Number 3, the intimacy of touching her hair. This is something almost all men are blind to, but women adore it when a man understands how to touch their hair. When performed in the perfect context, it's one of those minor, almost unnoticeable acts that can forge an immediate emotional link, but if it's done poorly, it can register as clumsy, calculated, or even invasive. The secret is in knowing the psychology behind it. The head is among the body's most sensitive regions, packed with nerves that spark profound emotional feedback. A well-timed, soft touch of her hair can transmit quiet, but potent signals of closeness, security, and desire. This goes beyond the physical feeling. It's about the unsaid message. It can communicate, "I'm with you. I am here in this moment, and I feel your energy." But this is precisely where men fail. They will either be too quick or do it like a robot, with no genuine feeling driving the action. Brushing her hair isn't about fidgeting with it, while your mind is elsewhere. It is about crafting a point of connection. Imagine this. You're next to her, deep in a conversation, and at exactly the right time, you softly move a stray piece of hair from her cheek. That one move, executed with purpose and poise, can speak more powerfully than language ever will. Your timing is paramount. This isn't a move for a first meeting or before you've established any real emotional rapport. It's most effective when she's already at ease with you, when there's a palpable warmth and chemistry. If you see her lean toward you, if her smile invites you closer, that's your cue the moment is ripe. The absolute worst approach is to push it when she's not open to it, which is why your awareness and presence are so vital. From a Stoic standpoint, this connects to emotional acuity and self-control. Stoic teachings guide us to assess circumstances before acting on a whim, to be in charge rather than be led by our urges. This means you don't reach out simply because you feel like it, but because the context is perfect for deepening your connection. So, the next time you're with a woman and that moment feels right, don't dismiss the impact of a simple, intentional touch of her hair. When delivered with certainty and purpose, it is one of those uncommon, delicate acts that leaves a truly lasting mark. Number 4, the hand on her lower back in public. This may register as a trivial, minor action, but its meaning is immense. A confident, simple touch on a woman's lower back while steering her through a busy space or walking alongside her sends a message that is deeply appealing: guidance, self-assurance, and protectiveness. Despite this, 99% of men will either fail to see the opportunity or pause, uncertain if they have permission. Women do not require large performances of masculinity to feel safe. What they respond to are the subtle, primal cues that a man is centered, attentive, and able to guide. When you put your hand on her back in a composed, confident motion, you convey that you have yourself and the environment handled, all without uttering a word. This isn't about asserting power or ownership, but about demonstrating through a gesture that you are present, aware, and leading with a quiet strength. But here is the common mistake. Men either wait too long, which makes the gesture clumsy, or they execute it in a manner that seems unnatural and deliberate. This gesture should not feel possessive, nor should it be a plea for her approval. It is purely about presence. When it's done right, the contact is light yet purposeful, quick yet full of meaning, just enough for her to register your calm guidance in a way that feels smooth and natural. Visualize this. You two are walking together, moving toward the door of a cafe. As you get slightly ahead to hold the door, your hand makes brief contact with her lower back, just enough to lead her path without causing a pause. It's a small act of quiet leadership, a gesture that non-verbally tells her she is with a man who navigates the world with purpose and calm. From a stoic angle, this connects squarely with self, command, and emotional centeredness. As Marcus Aurelius put it, don't waste time debating what a good man is. Be one. A man like this isn't looking for a green light for his movements. He simply is a man of strength, awareness, and calm control. When you touch her back, you aren't trying to get a response. You are simply being a leader who is present, and that quality on its own is magnetic. In a world where so many men are either too afraid or too aggressive, mastering this one small yet potent gesture will distinguish you as a man who gets the delicate dance between strength and care. Secret 5. Be her anchor, the guardian. Let's cut through the static for a moment and be honest about an impulse every man knows, but few will say out loud: that primal need to shield, to guide, to be the one she can rely on when life gets chaotic. This isn't because she is incapable, nor is it about you dominating her. It's because the impulse to shelter, not to suffocate, is built into your masculine identity, to be a foundation, not a pursuer. And here's the part most men fail to see: women secretly desire that. Not an enforcer, not a micromanager, but a man whose very presence silently communicates: I've got you. You can be at ease with me. And now for the twist. You don't get this title through big muscles or a big wallet. You get it with your emotional resilience. You see, most men believe that being her champion means charging in with fixes, solving her dilemmas, telling her the plan, treating her bad mood like a flat tire. But that is the opposite of what she needs. What she truly desires is a man who can remain steady while her world is coming apart. A man who doesn't get rattled when she's emotional, who doesn't attempt to silence her feelings, dismiss them, or make her crisis about his own comfort. She needs to see that you can handle her turmoil without losing your own composure. Because when a woman is feeling overwhelmed, be it mentally, emotionally, or hormonally, she doesn't want someone to solve her. She wants someone who won't be shaken by her storm. A man who doesn't look for an exit, who doesn't get reactive, a man who will simply stay, but stay solid. That is what establishes you as her guardian. It is not loud. It is not showy. It has nothing to do with movie-style romance. It's solid, silent, and immovable. And the more she senses this from you, the more she is able to relax fully into her own feminine energy. Because she is no longer the one bearing all the weight. She's not forced to take the emotional lead. She is free to surrender because she feels you've got her covered, even in moments where she is difficult to love. Let's be very clear. To be her guardian means you let her feel without needing to fix. It means listening with your whole being, not just your ears. It means maintaining your calm when she's pushing boundaries, not to teach a lesson, but to show her that her turbulence won't break your foundation. It means taking charge in tense situations without a big speech. Your steadiness is the signal. Here is the secret. You become her protector before a crisis demands it. This means you aren't just reacting to chaos. Your very energy prevents it. You establish the emotional climate of a space. You move with clarity. You speak with purpose. And you never have to announce, "I'll take care of you," because your entire demeanor already proves it. But I need to be direct. This does not mean you become her emotional punching bag. Being a guardian is not the same as accepting disrespect, volatility, or mind games. It means you protect your own tranquility above all else, because a man unable to safeguard his own emotional state can never truly safeguard hers. This is what makes Stoicism so potent in relationships. As Seneca wrote, "No man ever became wise by chance." You don't just fall into this position, you claim it. You construct it. You become it. Not to dazzle her, not to prove a point, but because it is the man you are, the man you have built, the man you need to be to guide, not to chase, to shelter, not to show off. And now for the delicious irony. Once you fully occupy that kind of energy, her entire perception of you changes. She becomes softer, she is more open, she yields. Not because you rescued her, but because you proved to her that she would never have to rescue you. So, if you are done trying to get affection through overdoing, if you are sick of being the emotional caretaker just to keep her around, if you are finally prepared to lead with a grounded masculine core, type this in the comments. My calm is my shield. Because the man she desires, the one her nervous system trusts, isn't the one who makes the most noise. He's the one who doesn't break when it matters, the one who hears without fixing, who creates a safe space without anxiety, and guides without losing his own way. That is the man she will trust. That is the man she will open up to. That is the protector, not of her person, but of her peace in your presence. Secret 6, the allure of a beard. Okay, let's discuss something that on the surface appears entirely physical, but actually connects to something far more elemental, the beard. For some, it's only facial hair. For others, it's a form of expression. But for her, if you present it correctly, it can activate an attraction that feels almost primal. Look, I'm not suggesting that all women are attracted to beards. Tastes vary, some like clean, shaven, others prefer stubble, and some want the full mountain man style. Yet, setting aside individual preferences, there's a deep, seated reason why beards have consistently been a symbol of something elemental, something masculine, something of quiet strength. And women sense it, even when they lack the words for it. A beard does more than just alter your appearance. It alters your perceived identity, and in the world of attraction, perception is paramount. You see, a properly maintained beard conveys maturity. It hints at life experience. It gives you an edge. It silently communicates. This man is beyond his boyish phase. He is not desperate for validation. He simply is. And that quiet is vibe, that is stoic, that is masculine. That's the kind of presence that speaks more loudly than your words ever could. Let's explore another layer. From a psychological standpoint, facial hair can symbolize both dominance and substance. Not an aggressive form of dominance, but a quiet one. The kind that enters a space and feels no need to be announced. It communicates through quiet confidence, through presence, through attention to detail. And when a woman encounters a man with that vibe, particularly if he maintains a beard with both confidence and intention, it activates something ancestral within her. She perceives security, but also a raw power. She senses a man who can be both a protector and a challenger, someone not easily influenced by the opinions of others, someone who defines his own reality. But let's get something straight. This is not about just letting a beard grow. A beard, when it's done well, isn't simply a style. It's a reflection of your self-discipline. It broadcasts, I take care of what is mine. I focus on the specifics. I am invested in my own presence. A chaotic, messy beard doesn't project power. It projects neglect. But a trimmed, deliberate beard communicates, I am certain of who I am, and I have no fear in showing it. Now, for the subtle part that goes unmentioned. When a woman glides her hand along your jawline, through your beard, she's doing more than just feeling the texture. she is experiencing something more profound. It is a form of contact, but it is also a study in contrast, your texture against her softness, her delicate skin against your rugged edge. It's a full sensory event, and it speaks volumes. That's the element most men fail to grasp. A beard doesn't just switch up your look, it builds polarity. And polarity is the engine of chemistry. Not being alike, not just being comfortable, but being different, masculine and feminine, solid and flowing, power and surrender. A beard, matched with the right personal energy, becomes a device to amplify that polarity, to make her feel more deeply feminine, simply by being near you. But I must repeat, it isn't the beard itself. It's the man wearing it. Because if your core energy is fragile, if your personal lines are blurry, if you chase, justify, or overcompensate, no amount of facial hair will alter her feelings. But if you carry yourself like a true man, reserved when needed, deliberate with your focus, anchored in your life's mission, then the beard transcends its physical form. It transforms into a symbol of the man you are. And that is where its real magnetism comes from. Let's circle back to the Stoics. Epictetus advised, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You don't grow facial hair to hide a weakness. You grow it to express your identity. It doesn't forge your strength, it displays the strength that is already there. So whether you stay clean, shaven, or you let it grow, have a purpose. Don't chase fads. Don't copy another's look. Lead with your core presence and have everything else be an extension of that. And if this idea strikes a chord with you today, if you now grasp that masculinity isn't just an internal feeling but is also perceived visually, then post this in the comments. I wear my strength, because the man who is secure in himself doesn't just grow a beard. He wears it as a quiet signal, a silent cue to her that this is a man who has nothing at all to prove. He simply is. Secret 7, the gravity of shared laughter. I have a question for you, my friend. When did you last make a woman truly laugh? And I don't mean a polite chuckle. Not that though you're funny, that follows a half-hearted laugh. I'm talking about authentic, raw, defenseless laughter. The kind where she tilts her head back and forgets about the world for a moment. The kind that makes her touch you on the arm instinctively. The kind that makes her defenses vanish without you saying anything. Because this is what most men fail to grasp. Laughter is not merely amusement. It's a form of intimacy. It's profoundly disarming. It goes around all of her mental defenses. It jumps over logic and connects directly with her nervous system. Want to know the deep psychology of this? When a woman is laughing with you, her system is flooded with oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the very same one released during physical contact, during intimate moments, during acts of trust. And in an instant, you're no longer just some man she is talking with. You are the man she feels at ease with, the man who feels like a safe harbor. Now, most guys will never leverage this. For what reason? They are fixated on being impressive, on finding the perfect words, on acting strong, stoic, and enigmatic. All of that can be useful. But if that is your entire personality, she might feel respect, but not attraction. She will see you as collected, but ultimately, she'll forget you. Laughter is the very thing that makes you stick in her mind. It is the secret ingredient, the relief between moments of tension, the instant she exhales and thinks, this man makes my life feel better. But this is crucial. This is not about being a stand-up comic. This is not about desperately trying to amuse her. It's about recognizing when to sink into the moment, when to offer a playful jab, when to allow her to tease you in return, when to stop taking yourself with such seriousness. That is what forges the kind of chemistry that needs no physical touch to feel like electricity. Let me describe a scene. You are with her. The energy is calm. The mood is relaxed. You see something, a tiny detail no one else would spot, and you deliver a witty, perfectly placed remark. Her lips start to smile. She attempts to suppress it. She can't, and suddenly you are both laughing. That exact moment, that is far more potent than the cleverest pickup line, because that moment was not engineered, it was genuinely yours. shared, spontaneous, authentic. And the best part is, she will think about that moment later. Not your words, but the feeling. She won't recall your precise joke. She will recall how weightless she felt in your presence. And in a reality that frequently feels heavy to her, that feeling is completely magnetic. Now for the common error. Many men believe that laughter signals weakness, that if they aren't totally serious, they lose her respect. This is completely backward. The man who can be light-hearted without sacrificing his depth is a rarity. He is compelling. He is irresistible because he doesn't need to be performing, to be powerful. He understands that laughter doesn't diminish his masculinity. It amplifies it. It proves that he's not intimidated by the moment, that he commands his own energy, that even from a place of calm, he can create delight. Let's connect this to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." But he also wisely noted, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Simply put, your power to recontextualize your life, to transform strain into relief, that is true strength. And laughter is that transformation. It is how you guide her energy back toward lightness, how you demonstrate that masculinity is not always heavy, that power can smile, that centeredness can spark joy. So, if you've been bearing the load of always being the hyper, serious man, if you've lost touch with what it's like to simply relish a moment, with a woman without needing control, without a performance, then it is time to rediscover that. Not to win her over, but to reconnect with that part of yourself first. Because the man who laughs with her, not at her expense, not for her approval, but truly with her, that man creates something that goes deeper than simple attraction. He creates an emotional tattoo. And if that's the man you are now stepping into, put this in the comments. I lead with light. Because the man who can make her smile is the one she wants to be around, not only when things are thrilling, but when they are difficult. Because laughter, my friend, is more than a sound, it's a signal. And when that signal is shared, it creates a connection she can't articulate but will never forget. Secret 8: the magnetism of a vision. Let's move past attraction for a moment, past the physical touch, past the playful banter, beyond the raw chemistry. Let's discuss something women desire deeply, but seldom know how to articulate: a man who has a vision. Not merely a career, not merely a target, not merely a schedule for next week. I am talking about direction, a mission. A man who is not simply getting by, but is constructing something. Because here is the reality most men ignore. Nothing attracts a woman more powerfully than a man who is unapologetically moving toward a goal that is larger than himself. This has nothing to do with money. This has nothing to do with recognition. It doesn't even relate to the specific dream. It's about what having that dream communicates about you. It communicates that you are vital. It communicates that you are not inert. It communicates that you get up in the morning with a mission. And that kind of energy is incredibly catching. Do you want to know what women find truly appealing? It's the man who can meet her gaze and state, "I can't talk for long. I have things to build." And he is completely serious. Not because he is trying to get away from her, but because he will not allow himself to get lost in her. That is the true secret. You don't capture her devotion by making her your focus. You capture it by making your mission your focus and allowing her to witness the intensity in your eyes as you describe it. And this is the reason it's so effective. Because when a woman senses your drive, when she perceives that you are pursuing something authentic, that you aren't just passively waiting for life to offer you something, she develops respect for you. She